First item on the agenda is to review and approve the minutes from the January meeting.
I've reviewed and found agreement, so I'll move to approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Lisa, I have one just small comment. The
Okay.
last word in the first sentence, I think it should be "the."
I'm sorry, where?
The first paragraph, the last word in the first sentence,
Oh, yes.
or two, plus two.
Two, I put an R in, yes, sir.
Any other? Call roll. Okay. Go ahead and call roll on this. All in favor of approval? Matt? Wow.
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
And I.
Multitasking.
All right, next on the agenda is appeal a decision, determination of the building official. Kevin, you want to present this for the city?
Thank you, sir. So the Kroger team approached us a month or two about expanding the Kroger located at 2050 Las Casas Pike. Currently, if you guys are familiar with that strip center, that you have a Kroger, you got a Canopy, and then a strip center that's attached. So right now, we look at that building as all one large building. And it's far enough away, it meets the 60-foot setbacks from property lines, so that building can be unlimited in size. There is no, it can be as large as it needs to be. So with this expansion, they're looking at adding a little over 24,000 feet to a total of around 90,000 square feet total to this building. So the problem is, when they want to expand this northwest side of this Kroger building, with a new expansion, I believe they're going to be put at 20 feet from the property line. So since they're closer than the 60 feet, they lose that allowable area clause. The code does allow you to drop down to a 40-foot, clear. If you have a 40-foot clear opening, you can, if you rate that wall a 3-hour rated wall, you will be able to still do the allowable area. But in their case, they're going, instead of going 40, they're asking for a 20-foot variance. Also, what made this a little bit harder is I think Kroger used to actually own that property, so that kind of hurt them since they've sold it. And now they're looking to expand back. So unfortunately, they've sold that, and that property line has been drawn. So with this new expansion, they're going to be 20 feet off that line instead of the 40 to get the allowable area. So that's kind of the background on it. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I'll probably turn it over to some members of our Kroger team if they'd like to just step up here and maybe kind of discuss what you guys, you can have a seat, kind of discuss what you guys are presenting. And
Appreciate time. I'm Randy Perry with Goodwin Mills Kaywood. We're the civil engineers on the project. Brian Ewers with Ewers Architecture is the architect. And the description is accurate. The key element is our first layout. We've met with staff, we've had a pre-app, and in terms of site design and utilities, it's fairly straightforward. The issue is the size of the expansion that Kroger needs in order to make the project feasible. Our first layout was even closer to the property line. We were 8 feet off. We were 12 feet off in the beginning, and that met what Kroger Corporate needed for expansion area for the project to move forward. Since then, Brian has noticed the building wall setback as an architect would do. So I will turn it over to Brian at this point to explain, but that's the key piece is there's a size of expansion that Kroger needs in order to make the project feasible, and that's why we're asking for the variance.
As Randy had mentioned, that what he had presented to planning was a 12-foot setback from the property line. In order to even qualify for a allowable area increase, we have to be at least 20 feet from the property line, which is why we've moved it back, or taken 8 feet out of what was originally submitted. Just running the numbers on that given the perimeter, as you mentioned, the open area, we would be allowed 83,900 square feet with the allowable area increase, which is about 7,000 square foot short of where Kroger needs to be. And, you know, as Kevin also mentioned, that if we went 40 feet, then we wouldn't need to be asking for a variance or relief on that. But in discussion with Kroger, that wouldn't be feasible for them to do that. So that would, in a sense, essentially kill this project, which is why we've decided to come and ask for the appeal. I guess in trying to accommodate what's required, we've discussed basically creating a 4-hour firewall instead of the 3-hour would be what was normal for that distance from the property line. 4-hour, basically creating a separate building or a permanent barrier to the adjacent property.
Is the property sold to the northwest of the expansion?
Yeah. I think there's currently a dentist office.
Yes,
right there.
yeah, that's
Kroger sold, I should say.
to the left, yes.
You did say a 4-hour firewall. And so when you say firewall, it's structurally independent from the rest of the building.
Correct. We would come inside, it's probably going to be a 12-inch reinforced concrete wall is what it would end up being. We're going to try to have, the structural engineer is going to try to do it out of block, but then we would, inside of that, we would have a independent steel moment frame for the Kroger store.
Okay. And if you just had to do a 3-hour wall, it would not have to be structurally independent. It could be a part of the building.
Kevin, Robert, did Carl Pease have any concerns with
Not that I'm-
access on that side of the
Not
building?
that I'm aware of. They're still going to have a drive access, I believe.
Yeah, looks like,
Not on that side. I did mention to Carl, he didn't have any heartburn over the phone.
Head south toward Tommy Martin Drive.
you're almost there.
And they'll have access down that road, Tommy Martin Drive.
Okay.
He seemed okay with it. He didn't.
So the 20 feet between the dentist office and expansion, is grassed or landscaped?
It's paved on the backside. There's a little island back there now, and what we're doing is maintaining, instead of grassing it, we're maintaining a circulation if anybody needs to get through there. So up at the front of the building, the front half of the building, there is grass which ties in to the grass on the dentist's office side. And then the back half of the building from the exit door back was all pavement.
Okay, I see the legend.
So unless someone should add to the Universal Dental building, there's an additional feet, approximately 20 feet of setback on that property before they reach a building. So let me get this right. If it was 60-foot setback, there would be no rating on that wall.
Correct.
To qualify, if it's reduced to 40-foot, it's a 3-hour fire barrier.
Right, it does not have to be a firewall. It could just be
And
part
they're
of the structure.
proposing at 20 feet, a 4-hour structurally independent firewall. Okay.
And are there any openings in that wall? I believe that you guys had just one. But
There is one, there's one exit door coming out the side, which would be a 3-hour rated,
3-hour door.
3-hour rated door.
So the neighbor's not opposed to it?
I don't think he's been asked. It's
Speak his mind.
really not affecting his property, so.
with 20 feet between his building and the property line and the layout that's there now with the parking facing the highway and such, it would be pretty hard to imagine how he would expand into that 20 feet in the future. It would seem impractical.
It also appears that fire trucks can get into pretty much any part of that wall.
I'm of the opinion they've got a workable plan.
Mr. Chairman, based upon the information submitted and the discussions we've just had, I recommend approval of the appeal.
Have a motion.
Second the motion.
All right. Any further discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Taylor?
Aye.
Mr. Lynch?
Aye.
Mr. Murray?
Aye.
Mr. Mahoney?
Aye.
And I say aye.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank y'all.
Stuff.
I'm with Kroger. I manage engineering and construction for the Southeast. My name's Bobby Capers, and I built 4 of the stores in Murfreesboro, so Murfreesboro is a very good partner to us. We appreciate y'all's consideration in helping us get this done. Look forward to expanding another one. Take care.
Bet you do.
Got more people to feed, don't we?
Yeah, we got a lot more
What are
people.
they gonna do with, this store is huge as it is, man.
All right, next on the agenda, any staff reports?
Nothing to really report. We're busy, that's about all I'm gonna say.
Any new business? If not, we're adjourned.
Thank y'all.